Welcome back to Houzz TV Live. I'm Rick Spence, and with me today is Bree Hance of Enhanced Interior Design and Build out of beautiful Los Angeles. And this time we're going to Yorba Linda, California. So welcome to the show, Bree. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
A lot of challenges in this home because you're doing beautiful design, but it's got to be rugged for the family. We have the family room, the dining, the kids' playland, and primary bedroom we're all going to get to. But we'll start with the family room. So give me a little feel for this home, what some of the goals were, and what do you mean by elevated everyday living?
Oh, that's right. I love it. Elevated everyday living is our trademark, and it's pretty impractical. We design homes that are beautiful. The aesthetic looks awesome. You can feel proud to entertain there and to have people over, but at the same time, it's livable. And so for this family with two massive dogs that basically take up a whole section of the sofa, we had to think about performance fabrics and durability, but also at the same time, still making it look beautiful because they have big family gatherings and entertain. If somebody walks in there or sits down and not super nervous, like they're going to ruin something or stain it. And so it's finding the right balance of that. And that's basically what we did in this family room.
Let's go to the fireplace. The fireplace is the focal point in the room. So tell me about your approach here, because it's not just the stone that you did, but there's also a wood treatment and some other things in the space that really elevate it.
Yeah. So this was a unique fireplace because we also have like 2.5-story ceilings. So what you can't add a slab all the way up. That's just going to be egregiously expensive. So we had to get really creative to think about a way to not just have plain drywall. So we tied in the materials. We took a vertical wood paneling. That way it draws the eye up and it feels intentional. And then to really elevate that application, we created this custom mantle out of the slab that ties in with the kitchen island slab. And so again, it's like playing with the juxtaposition of a little bit fancy, but a little bit more practical. And so it really anchors the room exactly how we intended.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful. The scale's just perfect. You also see the entertainment center. And was some of that existing, and did you update it? So tell me what you did there.
Yeah, so that was existing. And it's funky though, because it messed with the layout of the room. We really wanted a U-shaped sofa, but a U-shaped sofa would be facing around the fireplace. The TV mantle and all of that was too high for it to be at the right eye level. And this existing built-in was there. It really calls for an L-shaped sofa. So we had to get really creative with that. We wanted to keep the TV in the built-in and not put it above the fireplace. We just changed the orientation of the sofa anyways, still did the U-shape, but then we just made the built-ins look more chic.
That makes a lot of sense. Because you have that height in that space, you also had very large windows with natural light coming in. So tell me about the drapes and your approach there. Again, also very light, but how does that impact the space?
Oh, I think it brings so much texture and warmth, the depth that it adds to the windows, and also the height. To have drapery all the way from, not all the way at ceiling, but definitely at window height, all the way to the floor. It also just elongates the room. It adds in the layers and the depth to make it feel warmer and homier. They're probably open most of the time. It's still nice just to have that layered in with all the other design elements.
Do you have an anchor that you think of when you design a space like this? Was it what you were going to do with the fireplace that dictated some of the other colors? How do you approach that sort of anchor mentality? I know some designers have that. I don't know if you do, but what's your approach to like, okay, this is the piece we're going to work around?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think it's different for every project, because it's really going to depend on, maybe a client has a sofa that's existing. Maybe they don't, maybe they have a rug that we need to use, we have to work around. In this case, really thinking about space planning first, adding in the pretty part, making it sophisticated is easy. It's more figuring out the functional aspect of it. Like, how can I fit this huge family and these two dogs?
I love that. I love that. Let's go in the dining room. This looks very family friendly, but beautiful. And walk me through it. Just so much to talk about in this space, from the texture to the wall to the paint, all the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think so going into it, and this is what I'm seeing across the board for a lot of families, dining rooms are no longer transactional. The intention, and for the majority of our clients at least, is to make them a hangout room. How can this feel warm enough, comfy enough, moody enough, chic enough, comfortable, like all the things that you could think about all in one, inside of 4 walls. And that's what we did. We brought in a really warm texture on the walls, which gives like a faux paint, faux suede look. We anchored the space with the vertical oak paneling on the back. I dropped my statement lighting. And again, I've got my a statement necklace, of course.
Yeah.
But then the table and chairs itself are practical. They're comfy, obviously high performance fabric, but the table seats a lot of people. Like it's really a gathering room.
It's a beautiful space. I'm curious to know a little bit more about the slats and the wood in that space.
I wanted the focal point on that back wall with that really huge piece of art to really be what you turned the corner and saw. And so that was the intention there with seeing that. But the wood slats could seriously go anywhere. For us, it was just more like, let's just do the accent wall, put the faux material on the rest of the walls, just so it pops a little bit more.
What about the millwork that I'm seeing throughout the home? Is a lot of that new as well?
Yep.
Or
We added all of it. Probably the most prominent area where we added it was in the foyer. You see the floor to ceiling paneling in the foyer that we did up the stairs. Like it just really adds a layer of detail and character to the home. You know, I think it really just takes it another level besides just like drywall. Now, I love in a modern home having really clean walls. Like I wouldn't add all the extras to something like that, but it's nice when we get the opportunity to, because I feel like that's another layer of our creativity that's subtle, unassuming, but like so much work goes into that.
All right, some more fun. Let's go upstairs. So this is an upstairs room. That was an attic. You turned this into just an awesome playroom for their girls.
It honestly took a little while to think about how to achieve what they wanted in this room. They wanted bunk beds. They wanted communal sleeping they have a lot of family. So going to this room though, we're like, okay, how do we create bunk beds with attic ceilings? So we suspended these beds. They're not bunk beds, but like they're still super cool. So we wanted something that felt playful. So we suspended rope from the attic ceilings and have floating beds. It's a full bag, so 2 people can sleep in it. We put one on each side of the attic of the playroom now. And then we found this really awesome sofa that's modular. And so you can bring pieces over and it can actually turn into a bed. It's a sofa with, an ottoman or whatever and seating for everybody if you wanted to push it out and do a game night around a table, or it turns into a bed. I love it. It's playful. It like checked all the needs. And then finding a way to like clever storage, how to hang princess dresses. I mean, playrooms just have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's that challenge in itself. Luckily, I have 3 kids and I'm like the queen of storage and having things easy cleanup. Doesn't look like a mess, but also like a really important aspect when you have that is like, I want my kids and my clients' kids to be able to play with this stuff. So like, it's one thing to have somewhere to put it, but then if they're not using it and it's like deep in a cabinet, like what's the point in having it? So finding clever storage solutions was really important to me as a mom, but also me as a designer.
What about the colors? Obviously, it's a very fun and bright, but you didn't go overboard. It still has a lot of neutral going on, and you have like these accent pops. And tell me about your approach there.
I'm glad you asked that. We didn't pick pinks. Like they had 2 girls, and it's so easy to go with pinks. But like, I think knowing from my experience having 3 kids, 3 girls, that they kind of get over it. So we went more into a neutral playroom, not even knowing or anticipating a 3rd kid. Like it was more just like the yellow color that we used on the suspended beds. To me, it just screams playful, and it's a mustardy, beautiful yellow. And we tied it in with there's like greens in there, and it just feels like a beautiful palette. It's playful, youthful, but we want this room to grow with them. So choosing those colors was another aspect of that. And then keeping it neutral, because a playroom automatically with books and toys, those add in the primary colors. So I don't need like overstimulated primary colors everywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
I use the books and the toys and things like that as accents for colors like that.
And the dogs will be happy too. They got the carpet. They can get good grip. They're not sitting around.
They could jump on the modular sofa.
Right. It's dog friendly too. Great space. Just awesome. All right.
You.
So one more space, the primary bedroom. So in here, texture everywhere, also on the walls. Is that a painted texture, a grass cloth, or what is that?
It's a painted texture. It's really awesome. It's not inexpensive to do, but the application is worth it. So in here with the walls, we had done so much millwork, just talking about like how much is everywhere.
Right.
We were kind of getting over it. We were like, I want every room to have its own identity. And so to throw more millwork in there, we played around with ideas for the headboard wall, but it kind of felt like what we had in the foyer, so we came up with the idea that you see, and it's just the faux look on the walls and it's paint. and it brought in a mood, but it brings in movement and texture versus just painted drywall. So that's why we picked that.
And it's very warm and very calming space with that olivey green. Let's go through some more of the choices in here. Again, a beautiful rug in here.
We didn't want to do carpet because we just weren't that into it. A rug is still replaceable. You can also clean it. So the rug anchors the space tremendously. That and the walls together, I think, really bring in a lot of warmth. But then just to add in some fun, we added the mirrors above the nightstands, bring in the reflection. It just adds a little chicness to it. Really trying to think about how to make their primary suite almost like a hotel suite, which is also why we've created a little sitting area underneath the window. Read a book, chill, just sit there like you don't want to get in bed yet. Or maybe when you wake up, you just have your coffee right there. So it just feels warm and cozy.
How important is it to connect different spaces in a home and even think about that as you go through the design?
Yeah, I would say be careful with going matchy-matchy. I think that some people may misinterpret making it flow as it needs to be just like it. In fact, I'm the opposite. I don't want it to feel just like the spaces around it. I love when I have sight lines that just flow together. That could mean maybe there's a small pattern in one room and then I see through it into the other room a larger pattern, kind of like you'd mix a tie with a collared shirt. Like the balance of that versus because my kitchen's black and white, I want my family room built-ins to be black and white. So I like a nice balance of it. You see maybe in a pillow in the family room, maybe it brings in some blue and then you see a subtle blue on the bar stool, in the kitchen area, like blending it, but not making it too matchy-matchy.
Tell me a little bit about your Houzz journey. How long have you been on Houzz and how has Houzz Pro impacted the way you run your business?
Yeah, I think I'm like the OG client. I have used it for logistics and invoicing and material proposals and all of that. I think it was like 2017. I don't know, but I use it for everything. So I've loved it. They really help me manage the back of the house super well. I still use it. We pull reports monthly to track how we're pacing for on-time billing for budgets for clients. We create every single one of our material proposals in it. We have them, we move proposals into invoices. Like my whole team uses it. They use the 3D Illustrator to help demonstrate rooms. So it's been a huge asset for us.
Does this help with like less tension, quicker approvals, just everybody's on the same page a lot faster?
Right. Expectations. Being able for them to be able to like know what they're going to get in a more visible way is super helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bree, for taking the time to walk us through this beautiful home. Really amazing stuff. Congratulations. And I hope we get to do it again with you sometime.
Oh, thank you so much. I enjoyed chatting about it. It's like such a labor of love. So being able to share this with you and everybody means a lot to us. It's a really cool project.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.